Hey, Les Lethal people. So, I want to talk to you tonight about a couple of things. First is I've talked to Angelo, and we decided we are going to start the live chat again. It's going to be Thursday nights at 7 o'clock. Check Facebook tomorrow. I'll put up a link on our Facebook page. And the next thing I want to go into is I want to give a huge shout out and a thanks to Mr. LLC 24/7. For those of you that don't know him, he has a wonderful channel. I'll put a link down in the description to his channel. But what's wonderful is he was so generous and so nice. He surprised me, which I had no idea. I was out today. I came home, and Angelo says to me, "Hey, did you see a box came in the mail?" I said, "No, what was it?" Well, Mr. LLC 24/7 sent me a present, and it's something I've wanted for so long. I mean, he just made my week. He sent me, and we're going to see a lot of videos on this, the Barnett Phantom Tri-Strike crossbow. I have been after this for a while now. It's relatively new. It has a 50-pound bow on it. The quality is beautiful. And what's really neat about it, it has an integral magazine that holds 3 arrows in here. And I'll show you. When you take it out, the arrows pop up and they go right in here. You have 3 of them, 1, 2, 3, and you plop them in. Now they use a proprietary arrow that has 2 fletchings on it, not 3. And try to do this while keeping it in camera. You slide this in here and you lock it in with the other 3, and you close your top piece. It has a really nice safety and fire button on here. This is a Picatinny rail. I tried the Vitatu red dot on here. It fits, but I like these iron fiber optic sights. Really, really nice. It has a drop down grip, pistol grip on it. It's all polymer, really light, but very, very nice construction. I just love this. They make another one, the D-Min, which is a 90-pound pull, I believe, but it doesn't have the magazine capacity like this. So, I mean, we just looked at it and right away, both our eyes lit up and we're like, we can make parts for this. We can make little things to add on to this. So, I have a feeling, thanks to Mr. LLC 24/7, we're going to see a lot of this in the near future and possibly products for it. So I will have to go out tomorrow after work and pick up an Ithafoam target so we could do some outdoor shooting with this. I think it's going to be really neat. And I'm thinking of some wild stuff to shoot with this. I have an idea. In the package that came with the Demon Tri-Strike, I just love the name, the Demon. It's DEMUN. In the package, Mr. LLC 24/7 gave me a bunch of stuff. I got some nice lube for the strings and for the rails. You have to lube the rails. I got a stringer so I could string it up if I have to put a new string or if I put a 90-pound pull on there, if I could. And I got a ton of beautiful Demon arrows over here. These are really nice. They got some nice field tips on. And I'm going to say the quality of these arrows is really, really spectacular. Now, I'm not sure if they unscrew and you can put another tip on here or not. I don't know. I have to look more into that. But the quality of these arrows is absolutely, absolutely stunning. I love the fletching on them. They're hard. The fletching is hard, so it will not rip off like rubber fletching will. It's just a really nice quality arrow and a nice knock at the end over here. So very cool, and we have a ton of arrows. There's some little quivers in here. I wasn't able to figure out how they really mount. There was no website, so I have to look more into this. but there's some pretty cool little quivers. And I was thinking I could probably have Angelo 3D print some sort of a Picatinny attachment that will hold extra arrows on this. So hint, 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 we have a lot of stuff. Some little bag of tools. And we're going to save that. I have wanted to get into pistol cross, not just big crossbows. I wanted to get into pistol crossbows for quite some time. And I think this is a great entry-level way to get into it. I've looked online. The price is very nice for the quality of this. It's not nearly as expensive as an AR Stinger, and it has about the same power. And you have a little integral 3-shot magazine in here, so you could just kind of cock it. I'm not going to do it now, but this back piece cocks down, so it makes for easy cocking. It has a very nice lever here to hold on to for leverage. So Mr. LLC 24/7, he made my week. Like, this was the nicest thing ever. I was running around all day like a lunatic, and I had no idea. Box came, and I went upstairs, and Angelo's like, did you see what came? And I'm like, no. What came? And he's like, go look inside. And I went inside here, and sure enough, on the work table, he had it opened up, and it was the Demon Tri-Strike. It's spectacular. So I'm going to leave a link to Mr. LLC 24/7's YouTube channel down there. He has some great content, does a lot of testing on stuff. And I'm sure you have heard of him. And if you haven't checked him out, because he's been around quite a while. I think he's been around longer than me. And I've watched his videos now and subscribed to him for quite some time. So guys, you're going to check him out. He's great. He's got a lot of good stuff. I'm excited to get out there tomorrow. I am going to buy myself a nice target for outdoors, and we're going to have some fun with this. I think we can add some more things to the East Coast Less Lethal stable. Sometimes I'm even tempted to do some lethal things too. Maybe we'll have to set up a different site for that, because I know YouTube doesn't like that stuff. But I have a lot of things that I would like to show you guys as far as things to make and things to do, and I think and modify, and it's pretty cool. So let's talk about modifying, since I said the word. So we're all modifiers, okay? Whether you're just starting or whether you're not, once the bug of less lethal bites you, it's like, oh my God, I want to get this, I want to get that, I want to get the other thing, I want to modify it. And there's all different types of ways to modify. You can modify for power, you can modify for functionality, you can modify for aesthetics. Modifying means whatever. And what's really crazy, I've noticed this year, I've been looking at the less lethal world, let's say. So SHOT Show this year, I don't know if you've checked it out, but John Reynolds at Alternate Arms Defense, he did a phenomenal video of his coverage of SHOT Show 2025 with all the less lethal stuff. And I follow some of the guys on the firearm channels. Really, not too many great things came out this year in the firearms world, but some magnificent things. This was a great year for less lethal, or it's going to be a great year for less lethal, and all the stuff that's coming out. I mean, we have the new Umarex 30 Joule AR platform launcher coming out over the summer. We have finally their HDX was released, the 30 to 40 Joule one. We have the Grimberg Gavel Carry, the Grimberg Solstice that's coming out this year. I mean, a lot of things are coming out this year. The Pistelli 68 came out, last year in 2024, but now we have this year the 2025 upgraded model. These are all launchers that have 30 plus joules, 30 to 50 joules out of the box. That means no modification needs to be done. Granted, we all have the bug in us and want to see, well, what can we do to make it more powerful? If you made one that was 100 joules, somebody, what can we do to make it more powerful? It's just the bug that bites us. However, that bug is not always good. And we have a community or a hobby here that has grown more so in the last year than I think many other different fields and technologies did. I mean, we went from markers that were 7.5 joules now to having 30 to 50 joules available without any modification. So that means manufacturers listened to us. Manufacturers understood the importance of the fact that we need a little bit more power for adequate self-defense, and they produced them. And what's great is these are reputable companies that have a say in less lethal. So it's much different if you carry a less lethal from Grimberg that comes out of the box with 30 joules designed for less lethal than it is if you make something that was 7 joules and up it to 30 joules. The intent is different. When you buy from a reputable company that makes less lethal stuff, the intent is there. You bought it and you used it the way it came out, such as the Grimberg Gavel, such as the Salt Supply S2. Those Pistelli 68. Those are designed for less lethal, and you don't need to modify them and put yourself in legal risk being accused of making something deadly when it's not. So you have to think, we're in this hobby, in this less lethal, to not only preserve our lives, lives of other people, but also livelihood. And we don't want to put ourselves in any type of risk. We don't want to put ourselves in risk of finance, health, physical well-being, mental well-being, legal well-being, anything. And now we are absolutely encroaching upon an era. Those are some big fancy words. We're encroaching upon an era where we have adequate, less lethal tools and launchers that are coming out from reputable companies out of the box that we don't need to modify to carry on the street for safe self-defense. What you want to make in your own home, play with, tinker with, and use in your own home, that's a different story. But once we take them out in public and we're using them to defend ourselves on public property, now things change a little bit. And now is a great time. And I want to bring that into our weekly chats on Thursday nights. I would love to have a chat every night, but it's not going to be possible, not for a while. But it's something I want to talk about more in depth when we do the live chats and the live streams, because we are upon a new world with less lethal. And I really do believe it is going to be the way of the future. And there's so many things out there now that you can get that are adequate. Yes, it's great to have the hobby and build your own stuff. And that's what the hobby is. Listen, even in the firearms world, it is, I see guy myself, I want to modify this. I get that. I want to, put different things on certain, things that I have. You would never carry that on the street, because once you do that, you're putting yourself at risk. So if you guys get a chance, and there's a great firearm channel out there. It's called TFB TV. The guy's name is James Reeves. He's an attorney. He has a great firearm channel. He really does give a wealth of knowledge out there when it comes to advice on what to do and what not to do, and his reviews on stuff. And he was going on to say how something as simple as putting a Grim Reaper set of hand grips on a firearm really messed somebody up royally and got them in a lot of legal trouble when they had to use their weapon. It also happened to a police officer that he has a video on it. Police officer had an AR-15, and the little gate that folds down where the shells eject from it, he had some explicit writing on there. I won't say it because I don't really like to curse and use it, But when he had to go to court and explain himself, he was found guilty because of the writing and the intent of the writing on that little latch that came down. And it kind of ruined his life. So we have to think about this. It's one thing to make something for the house, make some novelty things for your collection, have fun with it, even defend yourself in your own castle with it. But it's another thing when we start carrying them out on the street. And believe me, one of the great, and there's so many things out there now from mild to wild as far as created by less lethal companies. I'm going to use an example, my Salt Supply S2. Everybody who knows me knows I love and swear by the Salt Supply S2. Is it the most powerful? Absolutely not. For power, I love the Pistelli 68. I mean, I'm getting great 50 joules all the time out of that thing. Kinetically, that thing is great. But Salt Supply S2, it is super reliable. I have never, ever once had a problem with it. I have never had a round crack, and a chemical round crack inside of the magazine. And I've left it loaded for months. I'm talking 8 months. It stays loaded with chemicals. I carry the Salt Supply S2 as my non-lethal backup at work every day of the week. Tomorrow, I will have it with me. Yesterday, I had it with me. Okay, I carry it as my non-lethal backup. Where I work, not only do I deal with two-legged predators, I deal with four-legged predators as well. That Salt Supply S2 is a great bridge that gaps the use of lethal and less lethal. And it also works when I deal with four-legged predators. I deal with bear, I deal with coyote, I deal with deer. Believe it or not, deer can be aggressive. I actually had a situation 3 months ago where I had a run-in with a deer that had rabies. I didn't even know deer could carry rabies until 3 months ago. That deer, he did not have less lethal used on him. He had to be, taken and euthanized, unfortunately. But, that was for the good of everybody. Where I work, we had somebody recently get bit by a bear with rabies. Some of you may have seen it on the news and other things, but yes, there was a bear, small bear with rabies. He ran up and bit the poor guy in the arm. And yeah, it's just so there is a need both for lethal and less lethal. And for my less lethal at work, believe it or not, I do not carry the pistol. I carry the Salt Supply S2. And it's right next to me in my bag with all my stuff that I have for work, right on the seat next to me as I'm working all day long in case I have to use it. And that's just it. The other night I had an incident where I had a two-legged predator, and it could have went really south really fast. And I had my S2, and I know using a 10 millimeter would not have been justified, 10 millimeter 1911, but using a Salt Supply S2 could have been justified if I had to in this situation. So there is a need for a lot of different tools out there. One of the less lethal tools that I carry with me all the time, and I mean this everywhere I go, I carry a Kimber Pepper Blaster 2. It's the little red. They make it in gray. I did a video on it. This thing costs $39. It is one of the greatest less lethal tools you can have. It is smaller than the palm of your hand. It is smaller than a cell phone. It's very thin. It fits right in your pocket. They make holsters for it. If I'm carrying a Pistelli 68 with me, I have a Kimber Pepper Blaster If I'm carrying a 10 millimeter 1911, I have a Kimber Pepper Blaster. If I'm carrying nothing, I have a Kimber Pepper Blaster. Everywhere I go, I have a Kimber Pepper Blaster. It is super effective. It is the Derringer of less lethal. It is great for close 7 to 10 feet. It explodes like a shock. It is all that is needed for an up close, really quick confrontation where you could get it out and engage it on somebody if you needed to. So I always have a Kimber Pepper Blaster. It's probably one of the most important. Next to my wallet and my cell phone is a Kimber Pepper Blaster on the tail. When I go out in the morning, all three go into my pocket. And even at work, when I have the S2, the 10 millimeter, I have the Kimber Pepper Blaster. I always have the Kimber Pepper Blaster. For me, that is a must have. So guys, I'm getting off track here. What I'm trying to say is branding is very important. Companies are very important. So we should be using things now that they're available to us that are designed by reputable, less lethal companies for less lethal use. It's great to modify stuff at home. It's great to keep that in your house for self-defense. Absolutely. But we want to protect ourselves in every aspect. And now that we have these wonderful launchers that are coming out every couple of months, this year is a great year. If you're thinking about getting in a new launcher, there's a lot of good, adequately powered launchers that are available or coming out, and it has to work for you. But we're very fortunate to be on this time, and technology has advanced very quickly in the less lethal community. And I didn't even bring up the other companies like Paradigm and the higher end launches that are out there. There really are some great companies. I personally cannot afford to get a Paradigm right now. Would I like to get one? Yes, I would. Love to have one to try it. And I think they make a wonderful, good quality product, you know. Can you do the same thing with an M17 or better? Absolutely, you probably can. There's only one difference. The M17 is not branded for less lethal, and you have to modify it. The Paradigm is designed for less lethal, and that is huge. And when somebody complains about price, I want you to just think of this. You could spend about $500 and build an M17 for yourself at 100 joules. Or you can build or buy a Paradigm for $1,200, over double the price. And you may say, well, why would I do that when I could just build one for 500? And the answer to that is if you ever had to use that and you had that in your car, either one, and you found yourself up against a court of law, it's probably going to be a lot less cost effective, or I should say a lot more cost effective. It's going to be more cost effective in your favor using a $1,200 launcher produced by a less lethal company than it will be in legal fees if you have to explain why you used an M17. So you may spend $1,200 up front, but it may save you $10,000 in legal fees, as opposed to modifying a paintball launcher and using that and making it to lethal capabilities as it may be construed by a court of law. So you have to think about that. Greedy pays twice. And That's what happens when we try to cut corners. Now we're coming upon an era where we have a lot of good things at our disposal, and a lot of good things out there that are uh, being invented and made. So, guys, talk to you soon. I talked enough for tonight. Have a great night. Stay safe. God bless.